So let's talk about my project. It's something like for the safety. So it's called SafeLink. So what I do is I have different services called NGO police. Okay, let me just open the folder. Yes. So I have different services, distributed services. I have distributed everything using the Docker. So each service has its own image and the container drive from it. So I have legal service, NGO, police, and transport. So whenever somebody posts a thread, I have used the HTTP request, basically the post method. So whenever somebody posts a threat, reports an accident or anything, these services are notified and they take the actions. So it's a system, and all those things are analyzed in this. This code does that, and we have an alert system. So all those services are using this alert system to alert the central hub. Central hub is the one that's combining everything. It is the one responsible for all those services. So let's look this up. Just a second. So I'm using Flask. Flask is for using the HTTP request or sometimes JSON. So I'm using request, threading, queuing, and request in JSON time. So a lock queue is generated like it reads them, and then alert queue is generated like when all those post requests are whenever somebody sends an alert are stored inside it. Then I have these services, and all these services are made using the Docker internal URL network. So if NGO, I have a special condition for NGO, like it skips if there's an harassment case that is just dealt with the police, the legal team, and sometimes transport if they need it for transport. So log writer, it actually writes all those services inside the queue, then dumps them. There's a skip part here for skip if we need to skip something, like not giving that harassment services to the NGO to do that. Then it distributes those services to the particular, uh, according to the alert that a user or client posts onto the server, and then the server is responsible for giving back to the others. Then it is done, yes. So a logger write is there, and all this thing is done through the threading. So I'm using the distributed programming as well as the threading part. And let's look here. Each has their own Docker file. So Central Hub has its own Docker file, and alert system. Alert system is the one responsible whenever I'm posting. Okay. It analyzes what kind of request we have done, and then it actually helps like if there was an accident or something like that. And all these distributed services are here. They are pretty much similar, so I will just be showing one, and others are similar. Just the print type is different. I have opened the transport services. It syncs it because everything needs to be in sync. Takes the request, like if somebody has done the request, all these requests are analyzed using this port. So everything is distributed onto a particular port. I'll be showing you in the Docker compose.yml file. All those ports are associated to these particular services. So post request, that's what we are sending, and then those requests are analyzed, and every services has its own Docker file too. and the requirement has the Flask and the request because that's what we mostly need for this because we are posting everything. So services, central services built as this, port number is suggested to be this, 5000, then the port number is this for the police and each has its own port number. Now, in order to execute my project, you need to firstly go to the folder cd SafeLink, and after that the Docker Compose build. So Docker Compose build actually helps in making the image for each and every particular services that I have. So it has generated like it's talk about the transport internal, police internal, NGO analytics part of it, and Central Hub. So it has built everything. So alert simulator was done, analytics done, Central Hub done, legal, NGO, police, transport. Every particular thing in my project has been made its image. An image is nothing but has the configuration about that file. And after that, I have to do a Docker Composer. Now, this is the one that actually helps you like in case of like if you have created the image, after the image what you need is making a container. So container is built, so SafeLink analytics one, SafeLink police one, SafeLink NGO one. So every services has its own container, and you can see like debug mode is off, and you can access these services using this HTTP URL. And I posted one particular thread. So let me just show you. So you can actually post this using the Postman if you want. I'm just using the curl command and executing everything onto the virtual machine. So here the content says the type is application JSON. I'm suggesting like it's a JSON file and type is exiting. Location I've given like if the particular user just writes like this is the location that I'm currently at and what are the detail a serious road accident near the flyover like they are telling us about, and then it prints like whether the server has actually acknowledged it, so server has received it. It says the receive status, and earlier when this post request was a part of it, only this thing was visible, all the above things were visible. But when I posted a request, so it called the police services. Let's just close it so that it would be more clearer to you. Let's just stop the container and post another request so that you know what I'm talking about. So the police service was called, the NGO service was called, the legal team was called, transportation was needed for that. All these services working individually, and as this is the power of distributed programming, if one service is stopped it doesn't affect the other services, so each has their own container, and that's what we are dealing with. So that's a good part about it because you don't want the entire services to end just because the other isn't working. So low battery, let me just charge my PC. So it's stopped. Let's just again start it. Let's create the container once again. So that's what I was talking about. As you can see, like it hasn't called any services. It just again post it and you will be able to see like it calls the services. So we have police again. Let's let me just change it to like now I have this special condition for the NGO. Let's just say harassment. That's what I have right now. Let me just take it. The central hub is the one responsible for it. Mm, So harassment is the one, and let's just say a serious problem. Alright, and it shouldn't be calling the NGO service accordingly. So after the accident, we have harassment. So police was called, legal thing was called, transportation was called, but not the NGO. So that's how it puts it. The central hub responsible, it sends the request to each particular services that is needed for that particular incident, and that's why I wanted to create something that is meaningful to me, and it was fun to do. So thanks for watching the video.